As much as I love Tampa, and I do call Tampa home, there are some things that I am still getting used to and still not happy about living in Tampa. Hey, I'm Kristie Dimarakis, and I'm a realtor with LPT Realty. Stay tuned because I will not hold back on the 7 reasons I do not love Tampa when I moved here. I moved to Tampa over 13 years ago, and at the time I didn't have a real estate advisor that could guide me or even share with me the pros and the cons of moving to Tampa. And that's one of the reasons why I am creating this video just for you, so that I could share all my tips and my hacks, because I wish I had somebody to guide me through this process. There are so many unknowns when my husband and I moved here to Tampa, and quite honestly, I don't know how we went from a 14-acre horse farm to a 800 square foot apartment. First of all, I had no idea the different neighborhoods and what Tampa was all about. All I knew was that Tampa area was close to the beach and I wanted to be there. So when somebody was talking to me about Tampa, and where they were talking about like Land O'Lakes, Wesley Chapel, New Tampa, and even West Chase, I had no idea where they were, but I knew I had to learn quickly and on my own by driving around these different neighborhoods myself. Because I didn't have a real estate advisor to help us to find an area to move to, we decided to rent first for a year and then purchase a home. The apartment was in New Tampa, which is about northeast of downtown Tampa. And we literally decided to rent an apartment that was close to a Cold Stone Creamery. Call us crazy, I know. But the apartment complex was realistically really close to I-75, so I figured we couldn't go wrong if we lived near I-75. Only being in the area for a couple of months, we quickly found out that Bruce B. Downs was terrible in terms of traffic. It could take us 25 minutes to go a mile. Even to this day, in that area has some of the slowest traffic lights. When I have to go to that area of town to show houses, I always leave a little bit early just because I know that those traffic lights are so slow. Not knowing any of the neighborhoods, I didn't really consider what the traffic was like. So let's talk about my 7 cons to Tampa I wish I would have known before I moved here, to prepare myself both mentally and physically, knowing these cons that I'm about to share with you. So some people say, well, why would you talk about the negative things about Tampa rather than only saying the positive things? Well, my husband asked me that question while I was making this video, and I said, you know what? I think it's really important that people are able to weigh the pros and cons of a city, and I would have loved to have known this before we moved here, what favorite beaches are. We had to learn all of that stuff right on our own. So don't get me wrong, I love living in Tampa Bay, and I really don't see myself living anywhere else in the country, because I've lived in California, Chicago, Charlotte, Atlanta, and really this is my favorite city. So don't get me wrong, but I do want you to be educated on what's going on in Tampa. Number 1, the heat in Tampa lasts forever. Plan on it being summer from like May all the way to Thanksgiving. I don't love the cold. However, by September, I'm really ready for a good sweatshirt and some jeans. The temperature rarely gets over 100 degrees, but it does. But the humidity is super high. If I don't get my run in by 6 o'clock in the morning, the air is too thick to run. It can be brutal. The air conditioner is going to be your best friend. I turn my air on in about April, and it'll stay on all the way to December. After Christmas, it can be hit or miss how often that air conditioner is running. I love to be able to open my windows at night, so the humidity makes that very difficult to do. The cooling bills could test your wallet. One thing to consider is to make sure you purchase a home that is efficient, meaning the home has good insulation, newer windows, and a newer AC. I learned to stay cool and hydrated in these scorching summer months, especially for me when I'm taking my clients out around town and showing homes. I make it a point to keep my tumbler full of fluids, and I dress for the warmer weather. It takes a little time to learn and to deal with that humidity, but you can do it. The best part is that we have a constant breeze from the Gulf that really helps in the summer. Pro tip number 1, when purchasing a new construction home, I highly recommend the option to get a covered lanai so that you're enjoying the outdoors, or when you're entertaining with friends and family, you have a nice shaded area for the outdoor living space. Pro tip number 2, make sure when you buy your home, you have that covered lanai and make sure it is screened in, at least a portion of it, because the mosquitoes in Tampa around dusk and at night are really bad. Time and time again, I go out at night and just get eaten up by all the mosquitoes. Pro tip number 3, I own a soft top Bronco with tinted windows. I highly recommend when you move here to have your windows tinted because it is a true game changer. If you're going to have a convertible, remember the time of year to enjoy it is in the late fall, winter, and spring, not the summer. Most winters